Okay, I'm recording this. So purity we were talking about, right? So let's understand this concept so that we know. So now look at it this way. What you are seeing is the subconscious state. So this is subconscious. Subconscious. And then what we have is the available consciousness. And available consciousness know that it is a very thin layer. Am I getting a different color? No. The available consciousness is a very thin layer. This is the available consciousness. I mean, we are only working through this available consciousness. So there is an infinity below, infinity above. And this is the supra-consciousness. And I'll also tell you how these guys play a role in our life. This is the supra-consciousness. This is the supra-consciousness. Now, there are no layers in the supra-consciousness. All the layers, multiple layers are happening in our subconscious state. So these are all the layers, multiple layers, infinite layers are formed. And the consciousness is trapped in these layers. And then there is a layers of grossness is also happening. So our subconscious state pretty much looks like this. The layers of grossness and consciousness. So the available subconsciousness from this aware consciousness, this is aware consciousness, in the green. From the aware consciousness, so if you see this is an infinite, this goes all the way to the beginning, and there is only so much available consciousness, and there is infinite above. You see that? So, and we are only working from this much consciousness. And like I was saying before, there is no human mental exercise we are doing in our life which can expand this consciousness, this aware consciousness. For aware consciousness to expand, it has to expand in both directions. It cannot expand in one direction. Okay. So this has to expand in both directions. So what I was saying is, for it to expand in both directions, the subconscious state, which is cluttered with grossness, and this grossness is forming multiple layers, and these layers need to be cleaned. That's what the cleaning process is doing. When the cleaning process is effective, and with the help of transmission, then our aware consciousness increases, expands in both directions. So what I was saying is, there is no human capacity. I mean, whatever we are doing, even the deepest scientific discoveries, business, whatever we are doing, nothing requires more awareness than what is already available here. Nothing requires more than this. But the meditation to reach this ultimate subtle state, the highest subtleness, highest purity, you can call it, that forces this aware consciousness to expand in both directions. As this is expanding, that means the bottom subconscious state becomes completely erased of all the grossness it has accumulated, or impurities. That is where the impurities are accumulated. And these impurities, when they manifest into our aware state, each one behaves differently. Even though everyone has the same available supra and subconsciousness, this grossness which we have accumulated through our actions, through our thinking from many lives, pretty much forces our choices. Pretty much we are governed by its vibrations, and each one behaves differently. Someone is good, they behave good because of these grossness, again, impressions. Someone behaves bad because of the impressions. Good and bad, everything is because of impressions. So when I'm completely cleaned out of these impressions, then the choices in life, significantly changes. Our approach to life significantly changes. This entire subconsciousness becomes pure and clean. It becomes completely pure and clean. So then the expansion is possible. Then the transmission is possible. The transmission becomes effective. Everything becomes effective. Your meditations become effective when the subconscious becomes pure. So in order to achieve this, see, the only tool we have available is that awareness and our mind. These are the only tools available to us. So when the mind is like a, it takes any shape it wants. I would recommend all of you to watch this, there's a documentary on octopus. Very interesting. I never knew about it. The octopus can change its any color. It can change its texture. It can change its form. It can look like a catfish. It can look like a jellyfish. It can, if it's on a coral, if it is sitting on a coral, it will imitate the coral. It will become whatever, it imitates its surroundings. It can change shape, form, texture, everything. Mind is also like that. Where the mind is put on, it changes its form into that, what it is thinking about. So slowly through our meditation, when we become aware of this deeper state, so the deeper state is, again, as I said, is expanding in both directions, not a single direction. As it is expanding in both directions, this deeper state, what it becomes aware of is something of that which is godly in nature, divine in nature. So the mind gets the awareness of this divine nature. The more it is on that divine essence, the divine remembrance, what you experience during meditation, the more it takes that shape. And that pretty much becomes the nature, second nature of the mind. And when we attend to this universe through that state of mind, all that you are assimilating, absorbing, and producing is the divine vibration, and it affects all the surroundings. It affects our people next to us, colleagues next to us, the neighbors next to us. A true inner connection happens with everything around you and inside you. So the piousness is because of that remembrance. Piousness is because of that feeling of that remembrance, the condition it is creating in us. Okay. So that's why it is important to be in that remembrance. Create that remembrance. And how do you get that state on which you can remember is only through meditation. And that effect is created through this yogic energy, pranahuti. In English, we call it transmission. Okay. So any questions, comments, observations?
I have a question. Is remembering the reflection of the divine state, I guess. This is more not really a intellectual remembrance. This is more of like your subconscious, superconscious remembrance. Is that correct?
Yeah, that state, the experience of that state happens when we are in meditative state. Because in meditative state, all our faculties come to zero. Mental faculties. So in that, the mind gets the capacity to go into the deeper state. And that's how the feeling of it, the awareness of it is created in the mind. And that what we can carry it back when we come out of meditation.
So what does it mean when one all of a sudden has the urge to go to a meditative state? Is that more of a maintenance thing, or it's a need?
More
or that's the state that you want to be, that your body wants to be in.
Right. So once we have that taste of that feeling, that experience, our mind and soul realizes this is where I want to be. This is my natural state. What I have been experiencing all my life is a very unnatural state. It recognizes it intuitively. That is the innate state of the mind. That is the innate state of the consciousness. And that is the innate state of the soul. So it recognizes it. When it recognizes it, that is when it wants to go back to it again and again and again. That's what realization means. That's what enlightenment means. That's what all the jargons we have been using. In a practical essence, that's what it means.
But if we stay in that state, then we can't survive. You know, we can't work, we can't do the everyday things.
The awareness is still there, right? The consciousness is still there. Suppose then I can work from that state. But in fact, we are always working from the state of the mind. If I'm irritated, I go to office, I'm in an irritated state of mind. And I'm attending to all the things with that irritated state of mind. If I'm happy about something, I mean, how much ever short-lived that state is, I'm happy from working from that happy state. So whatever the mental status is, we are automatically working from that state. It's not a conscious decision. Now I am working for the deeper inner state. Now I am working for the worldly state and things like that. It's not, it is automatically happening. So I attend to everything from that state, whatever that mental status is. So if my mind lulls in that divine state, it will work, attend to all the things from that state only. My attending to things is not changing because if I'm in a divine state or a irritated state. The effectiveness of my work is changing, of course, depends on my mental status. I'm depressed, I work in one way. I'm confident, I work in one way. So in the divine remembrance, I become so neutral. When I attend to things, it creates a different state of mind altogether. Okay. So I will request Brother Rajiv to give us the meditation session today.